What is up, everybody? My name is Nash, and today we're gonna be talking about culling and is the game really dying? So before I go from the recent patches, I want to go just from the beginning of the culling when probably I had the most fun playing the game because not everything was so much about the stamina cost, not everything was so much about spam pushing. You had that rock paper scissors game of just pushing, jabbing, and just blocking. If you had some time and if you're an experienced player, you had really the opportunity to fight multiple people and win the game, most likely if you know what you're doing. So as the patches were progressing, there were some changes that were good, like at one patch we had a good FPS boost, then at the other we had an FPS decrease, and then came the push spam and the stagger effect of the push spam when you're holding the block ability. So a lot of people just rage quitted the game because they couldn't stand that stagger effect and just the pure push spam ability of people. And the combat was a bit broken at that time because the radius of the block was still okay and attacking the enemy is okay, but problem was of course the push spam. So a lot of people complained how it is really broken, how blocks shouldn't have that much of a radius, how a lot of things need to be changed. And of course, devs listened to the people that had no idea what they were talking about because the combat was pretty almost darn good. And you just change it like that and you break the game completely. At that point, a lot of people abandoned the game and were like, I'm not gonna play the game until they fix the FPS, until they fix the push spam, and until they fix the game itself. So the developers were like, yeah, we're not gonna change the push spam combination, but we're gonna increase the push stamina cost. And that is gonna make people think twice before they use push to spam because they will be most likely out of the stamina and the other player would be just able to leave the area where they are of the combat and just go heal up, while the other player would be just out of stamina waiting to regenerate. Now, not only has that been breaking the game, almost like some recent changes with like the blowgun and the traps and the stun gun made people use things that are not that expensive like a stun gun, because after they changed all the cost of the crates and the airdrops, people were leaning towards the less expensive crates that had a good item to be used on the enemies and it is not expensive, so it was the stun gun. Then people started complaining about the airdrop with the stun gun because it was pretty much broken. If you take like the perk that gives you the backstab bonus damage and that gives you bonus damage for crafted weapons, you were pretty much invulnerable because you just use one stun gun charge and you're able to get the player down almost to like 10 or 20 HP, which is completely stupid if you ask me. So a lot of changes happened. Then they invented expose and traps. Then people started exploiting the game. And a lot of people just gave up on the game because they saw that it was not going in the way they thought it was going. So almost a lot of experienced players just left the game because they thought it is really not worth investing their time just rage quitting and getting salty over something that is not supposed to happen, like a block that didn't happen or just a push spam thing. It just makes people really think twice if they should play the game or just wait for future months to get better. But at the moment there is really a low amount of players. From what I've seen from the Steam Community Hub, it was probably around 300 to like 800, which is not a lot. When the game launched in the first month, when everything was mediocre to like okay, the game had around, I don't know, 5 to 9k players if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I am. But yeah, it had a lot of players. And since all of the patches and the devs just listening to people that were really wrong about the game and they made the wrong decisions of implementing those things that a lot of noobs just requested, just broke the game even more. So I'm not saying that you should revert the combat to the old. I mean, maybe it would be good to revert it to the old days when it was really good fighting other players and just implement the new things you already did, like the new weapons, the new perks, the new airdrops and stuff like that. As the last thing I want to say, I've been reading some Culling Reddit posts and apparently a lot of people are praising the test servers because in the test servers, even the AMD users have around 60 FPS on the test servers, which is really great. So I'm hoping that the progress starts from here and it just becomes better and better in the future days. But for now, the game is pretty much, I wouldn't want to say dead, but pretty much in a standstill position. And until we see some progress made, a lot of people people are not gonna be playing the game, including me, because I'm gonna be waiting for some good changes, and I hope there will be some. So yeah, that was pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you for watching and for staying for this discussion. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because it would mean a lot. And yeah, have fun playing the games you play right now, and see you next time.